Thank you so much, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. So my paper title is, I changed a little bit, by the way, what is in the brochure, in our schedule. So Thijs Biersteker's clinical art as Arboreal, why I double-coded, I'll share in the end, as a pedagogical and publishing practice. So to begin with a quote by Thijs Biersteker, trees are nature's record keepers. They document their lives through annual growth rings hidden behind their barks. And for those that know how to read this arboreal script, the rings tell a detailed story. Says Thijs Biersteker, who is an eco-artist from the Netherlands, who transforms digital screens in his installations into, as I claim, mythic portals that reveal otherwise imperceptible and ecological phenomena through artificial intelligence, and we'll see some of his examples, and environmental data. So this paper that is work in progress argues that these screens co-constitute observers and phenomena and stand as a prototype of an academic publishing platform that is accessible to readers. In installations like Voice of Nature, E-Continuum, and Symbiosia, we'll see a little bit glimpses of those installations, Biersteker materializes hyper-objects, which Timothy Morton defines as immense entities, such as climate change, that evade human scales of perception and comprehension. Through dynamic visualizations, Biersteker's installations translate these overwhelming phenomena into forms accessible to human senses. So here, digital screens act as elemental media, not merely representing, but interacting with ecological processes. I'm borrowing this term interacting from Karen Brath's quantum entanglement theory. Just to give a little background, interaction suggests that things come into being through their relationships. So artifacts here are not static art pieces representing ecological systems, but it is co-created and an entangled experience that we're talking about, where nature, technology, and human presence continuously shape each other. So the screen is no longer a passive display, but an active participant in materializing Earth systems, where air, water, and light reveal forces like pollution and deforestation. In these interactive and as well as interactive installations powered by artificial intelligence and real-time data, audiences participate in an iterative reconfigurations, extending the function of screens beyond visual displays to active mediators of ecological absence and human perception. So let's have a look at the first example by Thijs Biersteker, which is named, that's him, by the way, Voice of Nature. And I like this music as a backdrop as well. So we got an idea how the installations look like. So in Voice of Nature, I'll continue while it's going on, by the way, and it will not be a distraction, I promise, and I hope. In Voice of Nature, the tree becomes a narrator of climate change, translating its biochemical processes, as you just have seen, into dynamic visualizations and soundscapes. Sensors capturing 1600 data points per second render the tree's heartbeat, as luminous digital rings, shifting focus from static narratives of growth to real-time ecological struggles, quote unquote, in one of the most polluted cities in the world where it is located right now. This installation is in Chengdu, China, as Biersteker says in the caption of this installation. This immediacy compresses years into seconds, amplifying the urgency of climate crisis and emphasizing the intricate interdependence of human actions and natural responses. In this installation, trees bridge the physical and the metaphysical. When touched, you can see the artwork responds, either calming or intensifying its energy, delivering the empowering message that change is within human reach/touch. So Voice of Nature constructs a composite of scales, weaving microtemporal audience interactions with macrotemporal ecological rhythms. Let me explain microtemporal as in when I'm touching it, it's responding, that's the microtemporal. When I'm saying macrotemporal, it's the, let's say the growth of a tree or climate change, which unfolds over a period of time, centuries, years. So this interplay situates the artwork not only as an aesthetic experience, and here my argument of the paper is, but as a pedagogical tool, urging viewers to, that's a distraction by the way, yeah. But it will not show ads, so that's why I use Sutori. So YouTube is devoid of ads in this platform, just sharing a little insight on this. I hate ads, it distracts. So digressing, coming back to the point, it's urging viewers to engage with planetary systems through both sensory and intellectual dimensions. So Voice of Nature offers a groundbreaking model for me that I found out in the context of academia and publishing practices. And by reimagining knowledge production as a collaborative and dynamic process. By decentralizing authorship, Biersteker's work positions the tree, AI, real-time data as co-creators, urging academic and publishing frameworks to embrace non-human agencies and interdisciplinary collaborations. And the next case example is e-continuum. Let's have a look at that as well. I was waiting for the text part to end and then to continue my voice, having this in the background. So as we saw in Voice of Nature, the tree narrates climate change, but here in e-continuum, this narrative deepens by delving into the hidden underground symbiosis of tree root networks. E-continuum, a data sculpture which was crafted in collaboration with scientist, biologist Stefano Mancuso. You might have seen the title in the beginning. So this artifact transforms the electric and chemical chatter of trees. They're in conversation, in dialogue, and it transforms that dialogue into an immersive experience. This artifact exemplifies the connection between the tangible and the imperceptible, where tree roots mimic their real electrochemical conversations, not beneath the forest floor, but in human presence. Driven by real-time sensors, monitoring air quality, carbon dioxide levels, humidity, and volatile compounds, this artifact unfolds as a living dialogue. responsive to environmental changes, and visitor interactions. Here, even the 3D printed root networks that you have seen are crafted from recycled materials. And this location is at the NXT Museum in Amsterdam during Ars Electronica in 2020, where we see real-time data animates these quote-unquote interactions, bringing to life the entangled relationship that co-create meaning and agency. And the third example that is the final one. Then I'll move to my main argument, how I'm connecting all this and what kind of conclusion I'm kind of drawing from there. It's in France. So we got an idea how the indoor or outdoor site-specific this kind of installations function. This is presented at the Foundation Cartier's 2019 Trees exhibition in France, and this installation transforms environmental data as well as we see in the other artifacts as well. It's capturing real time, by the way, these rings, right? If it's capturing real time and evolving this digital tree rings. Thank you. So it transforms trees into this iconic garden into eloquent narrators, giving them a visual voice to speak of climate change. Created in collaboration with the same scientist, Stefano Mancuso, Symbiosia intertwines scientific precision and artistic expression, reimagining tree rings as dynamic records of adaptation and interconnectedness. And there comes the point that I'm interested in to talk about, which is Arboreal pedagogy and publishing, and how I'm relating it here. Media's complicity in extraction has normalized the instrumentalization of nature, transforming it into a resource for consumption rather than a site of relational engagement. And we know that against this backdrop, Biersteker's installations offer a radical alternative, reshaping the pedagogical and publishing potential of media in the Anthropocene. Publishing, traditionally reliant on extractive materiality, as we know, trees for paper, minerals for digital devices, has often mirrored the exploitative logics of global capitalism. But these artifacts do not merely document. They embody, offering a prototype for a new form of publishing that bridges art, science, and pedagogy. They challenge the traditional frameworks of authorship, proposing a hierarchical model rather than a hierarchical, where ecological processes are not subjects to be observed, but agents that actively shape knowledge. Trees, as archivists of planetary history, hold the potential to redefine academic publishing. This approach aligns with pedagogical innovations that prioritize relational, interactive learning over static, hierarchical knowledge dissemination. Through the lens of quote-unquote wood wide web, trees and screens emerge as co-authors of planetary care in this case, embodying a rhizomatic model of interconnectedness. So by visualizing sap flow or carbon absorption, Biersteker's works act as digital manuscripts, authored by ecological systems themselves. This redefines the role of publishing not as a medium only for human narratives alone, but as a collaborative process that includes non-human agencies. Biersteker's post-human eco-aesthetic, as I term it, raises urgent questions. How can pedagogy and publishing and eco-art innovate to decentralize human authorship, amplify ecological voices, and foster collaborative, sustainable practices in the age of Anthropocene? How can storytelling and knowledge production shift from being human-centric to embracing collaborative practices that include ecological voices as co-authors? And with these questions, I'm still seeking and wondering, and there I rest my case. Thank you.